From starring in Just Go With It to The Murder Mystery Part 1, Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler are reuniting for another whodunit. Before I divulge more important details, let's first look at what happened in the original movie. Honestly, that was a murder case unlike any other. Meet Nick Spitz and Audrey, the dynamic duo at the center of the mystery. Nick is an NYPD cop who's been gunning for that detective promotion for what feels like forever, while Audrey is a hairstylist and murder mystery novel fanatic. These two have been married for 15 long years. But that fancy honeymoon they've always dreamed of? Still a dream. Until their 15th anniversary. And finally their travel dreams come true. But there's always a but. What should have been a relaxing vacation turns into a wild ride filled with murder and mayhem. Looks like their honeymoon will be remembered for all the wrong reasons. Who knew solving crimes could be so much fun? But wait, the mystery train is about to leave the station once again. Yep. Our favorite mystery-solving duo is headed to Paris for a very special wedding. And let's just say, these two are going to need all the croissants they can get to solve this one. They're on their way to help a friend this time, but things take a wild turn. Of course. Anyway, the actors are pretty excited to be back. At the same time, it was a little challenging as well. Jennifer Aniston chatted with People Mag about filming the sequel. So first, let's talk about the fact that the shooting was going on in Europe while the Russian invasion of Ukraine was happening. How scary is that? Second, Jen talked about how she had to stay away from home for 3 months. That's a lot, you guys. The Friends star admitted it was tough being away from her pups, as she hasn't been away from them for this long since the pandemic started. While that's all fine and dandy, Aniston had some pretty shocking thoughts about the movie. Apparently, she felt that the movie was useless. Yep. Took me by surprise as well. Ma'am, you're famous because of a sitcom that aired for 10 seasons? Anyway, she wasn't all that arrogant and broody. But we can't just let the fact slide that the thought did slide her mind. But she reminded herself that laughter and positivity are what people need. She stated that the past few years have taught her to not sweat the small stuff, and to be grateful for each day. Jen went on to say that taking a break from the serious kind of stuff and having some time to herself was a good thing. She was able to reflect on her recent work and think about what's next on the horizon. It was like hitting the reset button for her. And while Aniston was busy getting into details, while that's for the main lead, how are the fans holding up? The fans? Well, let's just say they're pretty hyped about this reunion. So, what's in store for our favorite duo this time around? If you're familiar with the first movie, you know that these two are a match made in mystery-solving heaven. Or should I say a match made in dysfunction? Either way, let's find out what kind of hijinks they'll get into this time. The sequel picks up after the wild ride of the first movie. The Spitz are now officially in the crime-solving biz. That's right. They've hung up their sun hats and opened their own private investigation agency. While we wait for the big release, have you seen the trailer? It looks like Nick and Audrey are ready to take their sleuthing to the next level as full-time detectives. The trailer kicks off with Sandler and Aniston chillin' at home, talking about being invited to their friend Maharaja's extravagant wedding in a tropical paradise. But Aniston has a moment of realization, and she isn't so sure about them going to the wedding. 'Cause, well, the last time they went on a fancy shindig, things didn't end that well. In fact, a lot of people couldn't make it out alive. Yikes! And then there's Sandler's character. Of course, he isn't worried. And not just that, he's very quick to brush off Audrey's anxiety. Next thing you know, they're off to Paris. Once they arrive, they're in awe of the fancy room and the gifts they got from the Maharaja, including a pair of pink fuzzy handcuffs. Ahem. Cue some flirty banter between the married couple. Anyway, the story is just getting started. The excitement starts right from the get-go, with the shocking arrival of the groom via an elephant. Talk about fancy. Anyway, all that fancy goes down the drain the very next second, when everyone finds out it's not the Maharaja they were expecting. Sandler quickly senses something's off, and with his sharp detective skills, he realizes it's a distraction. And just like that, the action begins with a high-speed boat chase, guns blazing. Will the couple be able to save the day again? Gotta wait to find out. While that's that, when's the movie releasing? Well, mark your calendars, folks. This baby is set to drop on Netflix on March 31st, 2023. Filming for the movie wrapped up way back in April 2022. Aniston even gave us a sneak peek behind the scenes. She posted a selfie with her on-screen husband. She wrote, "Merci, Paris. That's a wrap," in the caption. So, that was for the release date. Now, time to find out who'll be joining the party for the sequel. This sequel is packing some serious star power. So our main leads are still Sandler and Aniston, who slayed it in the first movie. And don't worry, the other faves are returning too. Adil Akhtar will be the Maharaja again, and John Kani is back as Colonel Ulenga. But wait, there's more. They've assembled a dream team of talented actors, including Mark Strong from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Jodie Turner-Smith from After Yang, and Melanie Laurent from Inglourious Basterds, Enrique Arce from Money Heist, Tony Goldwyn from Scandal, Zoran Villanueva from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Kuhu Verma from Plan B, and Annie Mamolo from Bad Moms. So, safe to say the cast is on fire. As for the production team, I've got some news. There's a new director on board. So what's the deal with the change in directors? For Murder Mystery 2, the scriptwriter stays the same, with James Vanderbilt still at the helm. But Kyle Newacek hands over the director's seat to Jeremy Gorelick. If you're unfamiliar, Gorelick has directed comedies like The Wedding Ringer and The Binge. Plus, he's behind the TV series Best Worst Weekend Ever. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt continues to be a powerhouse in the film industry, having written for popular flicks like Zodiac, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Independence Day Resurgence. He's even penning the upcoming Scream 6. Basically, the new director and writer duo is sure to bring the laughs. I definitely can't wait to see them in action. Anyway, the big question on everyone's mind right now: do you need to watch the first movie before diving into the sequel? So, the answer is it depends on you. You don't necessarily have to watch the first one to understand the second. But if you're new to the whole murder mystery world, you might want to give it a watch just to get to know the lead duo. But if you're okay with jumping right into the mystery, then go for it. I mean, there are some of the old characters that will return, but their character arcs and stories are entirely different. So, no biggie. Ultimately, even if you don't watch the first movie, you'll be able to catch on. I'm hoping there's going to be some backstory for our main leads. But if you're still a little curious, don't sweat it, because the first part's up on Netflix and you can catch it anytime you want. And that's all for our favorite detective duo.